Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine's Crafts. I hope you are having a great weekend. I'm having a lovely time. The weather isn't so great, but I just thought I would try and make a card that just gave me a few summer vibes to it. So it's all about the sunflower. Now this is a shape card and I've not made a shape card for ages. So you've got a lift up flap on there, and then you've got the fold out diagonal on there, and I've put a sentiment on to there as well. So that, oops, that doesn't fall down like that. That goes across there, that goes across there. I'm going to give you all the measurements that I've used. Obviously you can make it smaller. There's still space to write on the back if you want to, but I've just put a little bit of an insert in, so you could put a little to and from on the centre if you wanted to. I think that's really fun. It'll still stand, if it'll stand up just like that, or you can stand it up like that. How much fun is that? I hope you enjoy watching this. Let's see how I made it. I really don't do shaped cards as often as I should, and this one has been in my head for about 2 months, and I've just kept saying must do that, and I'm finally doing it. So I have got a card. So I started off with an 8-inch card, well 7 3/4 inch card base, and I've cut it down to just shy of 6 inches by just shy of 7.5 inches. Now I will tell you how I started this. Was I started from the top, so I'm going to show you the top. So this is my cardstock. I've actually got some cardstock from the Sunflower collection by Crafter's Companion. I started with this piece. I won't lie, I had this going around in my head last night before I fell asleep trying to work out the measurements. So I've done 6.5 inches by 5 inches there. Then I've taken a smaller piece, and I can just pick it up here, and I've gone down. So where I've gone 6.5, I've then reduced the second piece to 5. So where I've got 6.5, so where I've got 5, I've gone down to 3.5 on there. So that is like a perfect mat layer. Can you see on there with the same? Basically, there's 1.5 inches, so 3/4 of a border, and that's going to make the shape of the card. So I started with the top piece, and then I worked out to find out how big I needed my card base. So 6.5 by 5, just 1/8 of an inch bigger, and then just 1/8 of an inch bigger again. So that's where I came from. So I got my card base, and I just gave you the measurements. So that was going to be my card base if I was doing a flat card, but I'm not. I'm doing a shaped card. So all I've then done is opened out the card, and then on my paper trimmer I've just cut from diagonal left, top left to bottom right, and cut that away. For now I don't need that, but it'll go in my scrap box, and you know me. So I've now got, what have I got? What shape's that? I don't know. It's not a trapezium, it's whatever it is. So it's got my rectangle, my full card, and then a half. So as I said, I cut some other pieces. So I started with this one, and I cut, let me find all the bits. I cut 2 of those, 2 pieces exactly the same. There's one, and there's the other. Now I have trimmed a little bit off, and again I've just cut that in half on the diagonal. I cut 2 of the white pieces, which were 6.5 by 5 with an extra 1/8 of an inch, and I cut that in half diagonally again. And then finally I cut the white, and I cut 2, and you can see exactly the same size, and again I cut that one diagonally as well. So all of these bits will be used later. So this one I've just taken out the centre, and I'll show you in a minute. That's where I've cut all my flowers out from. I've been able to use that pretty much. So let's show you what I would do. So I've got all the diagonal pieces, and I've got all the flat pieces. There we go. There we are. So let's put these together on a card, and then they can be setting nice and firmly while we make the flowers. So as you can see, I've taken the centre out of my yellow. This yellow is actually, so all of this could be done, all the pattern paper was 1 sheet of 12 by 12 pattern. And then this yellow is from, again, it's Crafter's Companion. It's from their textured cardstock, and it's their 12 by 12 paper pad. So any 12 by 12 paper pad. I wanted to make sure you could get it all out of 1 sheet. It needs to be 12 by 12, and you'll see why in a minute, because there's some more layers as well. But yes, to get everything, you need to go 12 by 12. So we can put that on there. And then finally, and I mean, if you want to, the back or the B side is really nice too, but we're not going to use that for now. I might use that on one of the front ones. I haven't quite decided. And again, if you want to, you can be going around the edges with some of your inks as well. But I think this one is so pretty. It doesn't actually need it at this point. So just flatten that down. I've got my stamp press tool there, and I can just make sure all of that glue is just burnished down. So that's the inside. So you can see I picked that one because I wanted that sunflower to pop out there. So then we can do the same on this side. And I literally just went down by 1/8 of an inch, except for the top one where I took a little bit more off because I found it didn't show enough of my cardstock underneath. So we can put that on, and you see I should be able to line it up so it looks like it's coming straight from there. So if you've cut it right, it should all line up perfectly. You could just go on with that layer, but if you can see, I've talked about this before. I do think having that white layer, that's the wrong word, I can feel the way the cut lines, having that white layer just adds a little bit extra sophistication and a little bit more class. Not class, that's the wrong word. That was such the wrong word, Corrine. Just elegance, I think, is the word I was after. Elegance. And I've just smudged the glue, but I don't mind because it's tacky glue and it dries lovely. There we go. So you can see perfect down. But then, like I say, this one I did cut down just a little bit, just because I wasn't seeing enough of the border. You sometimes get that when you cut on the diagonal. You sometimes just have to do slight adjustments. But you can see I've still got the same border. It just needed that little bit of an adjustment just to make it work. So once that's down, I can then burnish again. There we go. There we are. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Oh, I dropped my cloth. There we are. So we can put that like that. What you've seen me do a few times then is, now I'm just going to put an acrylic block on with something heavy, and I'm going to push that out of the way. Let's clear this. You don't need to see all these bits. Okay, I'm going to give that a spinny round so it's out, a bit more out of sight. Okay, so the other bit I'm going to put on there is I'm going to put a flap on the front of the card. So you've already seen some of the layers. So what I've done, piece of A4 card, and I've trimmed that down. So as I said, I started with 3.5 by 5, and I've just worked up to get this card base 3.5 by 5, and that puts this, my card base, at 4.25 by 5 3/4. There you go. So we're just going to mat and layer on this. I thought about taking it out of it, but actually it's only just over 5 inches by 3.5. So I just thought by the time because I like to leave a 3/4 of an inch border all the way around, I just decided it didn't actually achieve a great deal. So I'm going to put this on here. Tent fold. If you notice, that other card was a side fold card. You don't see me do that very often, but you do this. I just thought this would be fun. This is me clinging on with my fingertips, with my nails, to the last little bit of summer. I really still want it to be summer, I guess. So I just thought I'd do this and just get that last little bit of summer with the sunflowers. So there we go. So I've got the white on. So we're doing exactly the same as we did on the other card. Now, which one do I want? That one goes that way up, and I like that one, so I'm going to do that. And like I say, all these pieces, so there's 4 pieces in total, all came from a single piece of 12 by 12. You know me, I do like to try and be thrifty and get all of the bits together. So there we go. So we put that on there, give that a little bit of a rub just to make sure the glue's burnish down. So we're going to open it out. You're going to be able to see the inside on here. So we're going to do exactly the same. Yellow. Like I say, if you work it right, you'll get it all out of one sheet. So there we go. So I hope you like this. I love sunflowers, and we're going to make some sunflower flowers in a minute, which is lovely because it's just another style of flower to share with you. You know how I love making flowers. I love making all sorts of flowers, and if they don't end up looking like sunflowers, they don't have to. But you could take this style of card and you could do anything with it. It could be a birthday card, it could be a baby shower card, it could be a new birth card, a wedding card, wedding anniversary card. It's entirely up to you. As I said, at any of these points you could flip this over and use the B side, but I'm still keeping it with the main side. So pop that one on there. Now I thought you would want to put a sentiment here. We're going to put a sentiment on the front, but I thought you might want to put a sentiment on here as well. So I just got one of my insert paper pads and I just cut it out. I did actually get a circle die to cut that out, but then I thought this is going to give me a little bit of space to write something on. Not a lot. I'd probably write a proper message on the back of the card, but I just thought this would give me room to put a little bit of something. I've been really light with the glue on this because it is it's insert pad paper, so it's very fine, it's very delicate, it's just like copier paper. And I love that you've got the silver foiling on there. So there we go. So there is that. So again, if you want it, you can be putting some weight on there to get it set. But I'm going to bring this card back in, and what we're going to do is we're going to center this one in the center of there. Doesn't that look amazing? We're not going to do it like that. We're going to do it in the center of here. So let me turn this over, and we're going to pop a little bit of glue on the back here. You could do this with a circle, you could do it with an oval, whatever shape you want. Now I'm just going to center that up in the center there. You can make this a lot smaller if you wanted to, whatever works for you. Now remember, this is going to come down here, so just before it sets, look, I can see that's going to fit perfectly. Just need to check this few little bits you need to check as you're doing these sorts of things. Let's just burnish that down. So when it's done, that'll fold over and that'll fold over there. There's a name for it. I can't remember what it's called. There we go. I'm going to put that on there, put that on there, and push that out of the way. Right, that was a necessary bit. This is the fun bit. Here we go. I don't know where that one is. Oh, it's in there. There we go. I'm not actually using those. This is the Striking Sunflower. Now, I know a lot of companies do a sunflower flower die, so get yours wherever you want to get them. And all I've done is I've cut out some of the larger ones and some of the smaller ones in some different shades of yellows and oranges, and I've also cut some leaves in green. I've gone with quite an orange centre for those centres. But we're not going to leave it like that. Now, you can just make them out of that, but I think that's quite flat. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to bring in a mat, keep our workspace a little bit tidy. And then I'm going to bring these in. So these are sort of the orangey yellow. That's a very vibrant yellow. And then these are like a fleshy colour. And then I've got this green. I use this green quite a lot. I've got myself 3 different inks. I've got a yellow, an orange and a brown. Now, it's not a deep brown, it's quite a light brown. So this is where you sort of have fun. I love these little daubers, these little mini-sized daubers. They work really well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get these. I'm going to get the orange and I'm just going to go round the edge. I'm not putting too much on. Just like this. Now I actually use the yellow one because when you see the bits that I've already made, I've done some that are a little bit paler as well, because I think that's the other thing that works, is using lots of different colours on the same sunflower so that you really get those tones. Let's come on here. There we go. I'm going to then, I haven't changed my dauber, but it's fine. I'm just going to add a little bit of the yellow as well, just to sort of blend that in. You can put a little bit in the centre if you want. Just sort of using what's residual on there. Need a little bit more. There we go. Just like that. Again, still not looking too realistic. So if you want to add a little bit of brown, you could always add a little bit of brown to the very tips. Little makeup applicator sponge works really well for this. Just spinning it round and going all the way around. Just the tiniest bit. Really doesn't need much, and you'll be able to pick up a lot of the ink that you've got off your mat as well. So this is where I'm going to come in with these. I'm going to come round the edges with my orange. I know it's a fleshy colour one. Peach fleshy colour, and just go round like that. So this is the centre. The centres of a sunflower I always think is quite brown. I didn't want to use a brown card because I wanted to be able to control how brown it was. So I used this peach, because then what you've done, once I've added the orange, I can then go in and add the brown. So you can see it's almost like speckles. I love it. So you've got, you've got dimension and tone. And that's all I would do. But I do think it's quite important that you add your inks just to make them come to life a little bit more. So we're going to bring in a mat. I'm going to use these two. I've actually got some more cut. So now the flower is designed that you can layer it up like that, but I've actually found I like the results better where I've got the same, I'm using the same one. So I've got two orange peach and a light yellow, and then I've got a peachy one and a yellow one on this. So ball tool, turn them over. I'm just going to start from the back, and I'm just going to get the largest one of this ball tool and just come on there and just drag it down. Sunflowers don't need a lot of shape, but I think you'll get a lot more out of them by adding a little bit of shape to it. So come round, turn it round, and just add a little bit of shape. If you find that they're not got enough shape, just go over them once you've done, just like that, and you just, add in a little bit of extra shape. It does pay just to spend a little bit of time. So those are the two for that. I'm going to do this one as a 3. If you can still see that, yeah. Let's come round there. So the big ball tool breaks down those fibres and it just makes it more pliable. And then we can come in and just add in here. This is never going to look 100% realistic. It's sort of an animated flower, isn't it, if you know what I mean, rather than 100% realistic. You're going to look at it and say straight away sunflower, but it's not been designed to be like absolutely 100%. So we can take these two. I'm going to do the dark one on the back and the brighter one on the top. Don't need anything extra than a little bit of wet glue. Look how small a bit of wet glue. You really don't need much. Now the thing to do is to make sure you stagger them. It will look so much better for being staggered. What you can do, I've flattened that a bit, so I'm just going to grab, oops, that's moved it. Just press that just a little bit. And there we go. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1, and then I'm going to line up 1. So these two are the same colour. You could alternate the colours. It's up to you. There are so many sunflower dyes out there, but what I'm doing here will work with so many of your flower dyes. And then you can put those on to there. And look at that. I love that one. Look at that. Aren't they gorgeous? Very different. So I'm just going to grab those centres. If you don't have a mat, just do it into the palm, into the fleshy bit of your hand. It'll work too. Round like that. Smaller one. Just there. Now, this is where I like to use my 3D glue gel. So what I'm going to do is, I had to play around and I'll show you in a minute. I tried some different sorts of designs. I'm going to flatten that one down. It could actually go in with the regular glue, could that? And put that one in the middle. Put that there. And then this one. There are so many different ways to assemble your flowers, and I'll show you all the different ones that I've done in a minute. So again, it looks completely different because this takes up more space than that. Then this one that I pressed that way, I'm going to put a little bit bigger blob of 3D glue in, and I'm going to turn it over so that it's raised. There you go. Can you see? Slightly dome shaped. And then a slightly bigger, and that's going to go just in. Might put a bit too much glue. There we go. Right, so I just want to show you the sort of different... I'll tell you what I'm going to show you as well before I get rid of all this. The leaves. Now, it would be tempting just to ink these with green. But it's quite a dark card, so I'm inking it with my brown dauber. I've not actually added any extra ink. There's some on my mat. And I'm just adding a little bit of brown around the edges. That's all I need to do. Can you see? It just adds a little bit of sort of texture to it. You don't have to do much. That's all I've done. So I'll show you all the flowers that I've made. So this one was 1 big one, 2 small ones. So, yeah. This one, just like that one. Oops. I'm trying to be careful. It's 2 of the larger ones, but those are 2 of the same colour as opposed to 2 different colours. This one is... Again, two the same, but quite a bright yellow. And this one is 3 layers, just like I did with that one. So those are very similar, except the difference on this one is I did dome and dome, and then I've done concave and then dome on there. So you can see I've had to play around and done. So I've then brought in, I've got 4 leaves. I thought I'd cut more, but no, clearly I've only got 4. What else have I done? Now I don't know how much of this I'm going to use. I just cut myself, oops, a couple of little bits of white and a couple of strips of my white leaves. Don't know if I'm going to use them, but I wanted them at the ready. So let's bring the card back. Make sure I'm in the right way. So look at this. It looks amazing, doesn't it? What I thought we'd do is we'd make a lovely display. Oh, I thought I'd nudged. That was me nudging just then. We'll make a lovely flower or sunflower display here. We'll do it quite... I don't know how I want it now. So what I'm going to do is put those like that. Then I've got a couple of sentiments. I've got celebrate and cheers. So we can put those like that. So I would add my leaves. Now what we've got is we've got the flowers on top of that floral paper, which is why I thought, so I might just take that off and put that on. And try, we're playing here, we're seeing what looks right. Are you shouting at me and telling me? Can you see? It just breaks down that background. Or we could trim it and just use a little bit tucked under, just coming out from here. Or I've got this brickwork one, which again I can trim down. Let's try this brickwork one. I don't know which one's going to work. So it's a bit big at the moment. So let's just trim along about here. So this piece is going to go in my scrapbook. So I'm going to pop this piece here. And then we're going to build on to here. Oh, I like that. Oh, that works, doesn't it? Just a few less flowers. How about like that? That I like that. So just over that brickwork, because I could, if I wanted to, just add to enhance that white. Just maybe the one. Oh, lots of ideas are flowing here. Lots of ideas. Okay, let's go and stick that down. So a couple of different glues. First one. You see, I start with an idea, but I never actually know how I'm going to finish it, and that's what you're seeing it come to life. Just as I am. I know some people when they're doing their demos, they've completely created one first. I tend not to, just because now I have to buy my own craft bits. I'm not sponsored anymore. Obviously, it costs a lot more to do to make 2 of the same. And what the heck am I going to do with all those cards? I just wouldn't know. So let's just put that onto there. I'm going to get my cloth, because even though I've used my precision glue, there's a little bit of glue sticking out, but it'll dry. Then I'm going to come in with 3D glue. Let's put a little bit of 3D glue, because what it's going to do is it's going to go through there, you see. I sort of did it as a zigzag, didn't I? We've got it a bit, it's almost like, not trellis, but climbing up that wall. So I've not used half of what I've cut out. But that's not a problem. I've got another project. Oh, sometimes you've just got to cut back, haven't you? You've got to cut back and not use as much as you think. Now, remember, this is another reason for using 3D glue gel, is you can go in afterwards and lift things and adjust them. So let's come in with a green leaf and then another green leaf. Decisions. Got some bits in that one. Let's go, and then let's tuck what needs a bit of glue. That on there. So what I thought I'd do is I'd put this one across. It's nice actually to add things onto your flowers. So we could put celebrate across there. My flowers aren't where I thought they were going to be. I don't know if this is going to work. I hope so, because I put glue on it now. I can put cheers up there. There we go. And I think it just needs a couple more white bits. So let's do a few random white drops. Just on there. Just on there. Oh, I like that. This isn't what I thought I was going to make at all. At all. But wow. So there's still quite a lot of bits left over. I could have actually extended that a little bit more, but I haven't. Oh, isn't that lovely? Oh, I'm really pleased with that. Sorry, I shouldn't get so excited about my own project, should I? But you know, and sometimes something just goes, wow. So it lifts like that, sentiment in the centre, folds down. How about that? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Well, I hope you like that. I've enjoyed putting that together just because I didn't know where it was going to go. I'm just thinking, I put that there. Yeah, it does want to go there. I didn't know whether it wanted to go at the side, but no, I'm going to put it there. If you want to mat and layer your sentiments, you can do. But just putting it across looks a little bit different. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Lots of links going to be down at the bottom, as always. I hope you can click on those. Also, my Buy Me a Coffee page is linked down there. And thank you so much for all your support. As we're saying, no longer am I sponsored, so all your help and support really, really is appreciated. I hope you enjoyed that. Little last hurrah to summer. We are still in summer. It's only just, what are we? Just getting up to the first third of September. So yes, still summer, still loving that. I hope you enjoyed that. And until next time, thanks for watching. And I can't wait to see what you are inspired to make. If you have a go at this, a shaped card like this, maybe for a different occasion, maybe a different topper, please do share. And until then, I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.